bang, bang.
Oh my god, it's so big and strong.
Bang Bang Coffee. Big, strong flavour. Competition? I don't think so. bungbangcoffee.com. Get yours. ClayMcMathComedy.com to support the show. Buy merch. Do what you got to do. We got the calendar out. It's January. If you need to organize your life, get this calendar. You can put in all your appointments, all your dinners, your lunches, your work, whatever you got to put in there while you have a laugh at the silly movie posters. It's a funny, fun poster calendar, and you know, you can support the show by buying it, plus all the other merch, t-shirts, hats, socks, all of that to support me, to support the show. And most importantly, go and buy tickets to all of my upcoming shows. Got tons there on the website. Going to Sydney in a week and going to have a huge run at the Adelaide Fringe Festival. 31 shows in 31 days for my solo. And then I've got a split bill with the Cold Blooded Comedy Boys, 9 nights. Buy tickets to both of them. If you've got any financial issues or anything like that, hit me with a DM and I'll sort you out with a ticket. I want everyone to see both of these shows. So yeah, if there's any problems financially, hit me up. I will help you out. And obviously, it's all confidential. I'm not going to be telling people that, you know, so-and-so couldn't afford a ticket, you know, so let me know if you want to come and see the show and it's just not in the budget. Hit me up in the DMs or email, whatever. I'll see it. All right, let's start the show.
Welcome to the party. Best show on the internet. Ask anybody. You know it's easy, Muddy. Sit back, relax, get your headphones, everybody. Welcome to the party. Blackout in the booth. Every episode's a party. We go hard like Ricky Bobby. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is Welcome to the Party.
Welcome to the party, bang bang. It's your man Claytron, aka the Big Boss Man, aka the Clumsy Jeweler, because I'm always dropping gems, aka the Milkman, because I always deliver, aka the PhD of podcasting, the Magnum PI of podcasting, the Captain, the Leangelo Ball of podcasting, man. He came out with a hit. Absolute hit this week, and you know, every episode of the Welcome to the Poddy podcast is a hit, so I can relate. Yeah, man, that LeVar Ball, he wasn't wrong about his sons. He knew he had some talent there. One of them couldn't quite make it into the NBA, but he's had some minutes, maybe only summer league minutes. I don't know. I think he got stiffed a little bit. I think maybe LeVar talked a little bit too much. And the NBA was just like, you know, if there's 3 of them in here, he's going to be a problem. So let's just keep it low key. Let's have 2 of these kids in here, Lonzo and LaMelo. You know, Lonzo, I don't know how much time he's got left. You know, he's back this year. He's playing for the Bulls, but he's got some serious knee issues. He might be, what was his name? Brandon Roy, a.k.a. Clay McMath. Degenerative knees. That's a problem. So we don't know how much we're going to get left out of Lonzo. So maybe when Lonzo's out, maybe they give Jello another shot to come back in. Then he'll be up there with the best NBA rappers. Who's the best NBA rapper right now? Dame Lillard. Haven't seen a project out of him for a while. You got Miles Bridges. He's trash. You got Andre Drummond. Is that his name? Yeah, Andre Drummond, who he's a pretty good rapper, but no one wants a 7-foot rapper. That's wild. Ask Shaq. No one really wants Shaq. And I mean, Shaq just wasn't even that good. Like, if we're being real. So who else is a rapper in the league right now? I mean, Lonzo was for a bit. I think he's maybe off that. But if you look at the credits of Jello's new song, I think it's called like Swerve or something like that. I don't even know what it's called. I might swerve and hit that corner. So what do you think? I think, oh yeah, if you look at the credits on Spotify, Lonzo Ball's the lyricist. So Lonzo Ball wrote the lyrics to the song. Think about that. That's brotherly love right there. These motherfuckers, they've been hooping together their whole life. They're doing music together. It's beautiful. Me and my brothers are essentially estranged, bro. Like, they were born when I was 17. And while I was 17, maybe, 17 and 5 months or something, I moved to the AIS, the Australia Institute of Sport in Canberra. So they were probably getting to about 1 year old when I moved. And then I came back for 6 months in between the AIS and going to college. So we were around each other for 1 year and then 6 months. And then every summer break from college, I would come home for 3 months for 5 years. So that's 15 months. That's another 15 months. So that's 2.5 years, really, we've been around each other in 6 years. And then I come back for a couple months before going to Townsville. I'm in Townsville, then I basically go straight to Albury. And it's just like that. It's just like that, dude, just bouncing. So I never really had heaps to do with them. And I love them. Of course I love them. But I'm not close with them, really. Just because of the way, you know, Dad had kids with his second wife, you know, and he had me with his first wife. So I don't even live with them. And then I'm just like, I'm a grown adult while they're children. While they're babies. So I'm moving around doing what I'm doing, not really around them. And now they don't even live here. They live somewhere else. They live, you know, same country, different state and all that. So just don't see them much. So I'm not mad close with them. But then you look at the Ball brothers and they're just like, they do it all together, which is dope. And it was my brothers, shout out to my brothers. They just turned 18, dude. 18. Good on. There you go. It would be good to get close with them, you know, in our later years. Not later, but like now. If they ever move back here and get them helping out on the Poddy. Get them helping out, you know, filming content for me and shit. Look at that. One of them wants to be a cop, but he would be the one that's probably more interested in like content and stuff. Because I remember he wanted to be a gamer for a while. That's a real thing that people want to be now. A gamer. I remember when I was a kid, like I loved playing video games. I was like, imagine being a professional gamer. That'd be sick. I don't even think that was a thing yet. And now it's like legit and people want to be that, which I can believe because I wanted to be that when it wasn't a thing. But it's just crazy that it is a thing now, man. But the Ball brothers, bro, they're doing it all. They're doing it all. I recorded yesterday, so nothing really has happened in the news. Nothing funny anyway. Obviously, the fires in Los Angeles are happening as we speak. And this episode probably won't come out for like another week. So there'll be, you know, different news and hopefully the fires are out or contained or whatever by then. But right now, the fires are ripping through Los Angeles. It does not look good. And I don't, you know, prayers up. I'm not a religious man, but, you know, if positive vibes or whatever, send those out. You know, that's helpful, I guess. But what is actually helpful is if there is some sort of charity or fund that you can donate to that gets water to LA or something. I don't know, bro. I don't know. They should have had more water. From what I understand, Gavin Newsom signed a bill it was an environmental bill to save some fish and not, you know, have water protection, like be able to protect the homes. Sacrifice water for these fish, your homes are fucked. And probably your phones, especially if you left them in your flaming golf homes. But yeah, like I'm not huge on politics in general, especially American politics, but that sounds retarded to me. And you're not supposed to say that word. And I think I got through last episode without saying it. It is one of my favorites. But that does sound absolutely retarded. So I don't know, man. I think people need to focus less on like what feels right and more on what is right. You know, sometimes a human life is going to be more valuable than a fish life. Let's put it that way. Sometimes just like making sure women can get safe and legal abortions is more important than like say a fucking pronoun or whatever the fuck it is. I know it wasn't the Democrats that did the abortion shit, but you get my drift. We're focusing on the wrong shit. Or not us. They are focusing on the wrong shit. Over here in Australia, I don't even really know what we're focused on, but it's nothing like great over here either. It's really, small businesses are all up the wazoo. Everything's geared towards big business. Woolworths and Coles get to do whatever the fuck they want. I shouldn't name them because if they were to sponsor me, I would accept it because I'm a small business and I need money. And until I'm spoiled for choice, I've really got to take what I can get. Do I want to promote gambling your money away? Not particularly, but if one of the bookmakers came to me and offered me a bag, I would 100% take it. Put it that way. Do I think I need to, promote drinking? Well, maybe I do because the hospitality industry is effed. And again, small businesses are suffering right there. Kids are like more worried about going out to brunch on a Sunday morning. They want to go for a walk and show off their coffee cup, just like take a photo like this and go out to brunch, take a photo of their plate and put it on the gram. The gram is honestly worse as an addiction, I think, than alcohol or gambling. Put it like that. And, you could go ahead and argue that. And I wouldn't, I don't have like a firm stance on it. All I'm saying is I think Instagram, social media in general is bad for your health. The ban that's been, I don't even know if it's really happened here in Australia. I don't really look at the news that much. But apparently it's banned for people under 16. And I think that's a good thing. I don't even think they should have phones really until they're really getting active. And even then, back in our day, we didn't have smartphones. It was like calls and texts. If you can get your kid like a old school flip phone or some shit, or less than that, like a old school Nokia, that's what they should get when they're like 14 and going to the movies with their friends and shit, and they can stay safe. But also, payphones do still exist. They actually do, bro. My son is obsessed with them. We can't walk by one. If I try to hurry him up past one, it is a problem, bro. And it's hard to parent. It's hard to do discipline sometimes because you don't want your kid to make the rules, but you also don't want to work through the tantrum. Sometimes you don't have the time to do that. When I was a kid, and I didn't get beat up by my parents, they weren't abusive or anything, but like a little smack would like pull me into line. I'll be going ape shit, I want this, I want it, this or nothing. And then bang, I'm like, oh shit. That's right. You make the motherfucking rules around here, not me. And I'm not saying that I want to hit my kid. I'm just saying it is hard. The new age of parenting takes patience, dude. And our parents didn't have to use their patience. I'm not the most patient man. Obviously, because I wasn't taught patience. When my parents could just give me a quick little whooping to get it straight, I was just like, oh, you don't need patience. You can just do this. But you can't do that. So my patience gets tested on a daily basis, bro. And yeah, sitting through trying to talk a kid through a tantrum is wild, especially when it's about a fucking phone booth on the street. Because when he tantrums, he likes to run. He gets his energy out. He screams and he runs. But we're on a road, so I've got to drop what I'm doing and chase him, make sure he doesn't actually go onto the street. And he's channeling that energy down the footpath. But I can't talk to him when he's like at that level, This is typical dog training 101, When your dog's going ape shit, that's not your time to train the dog. You don't start saying sit when the dog's jumping up and down, barking, going crazy. That's not training time. And that's the same with a kid. When he's all worked up, I can't be like, mate, we can't stop at every phone booth. Sometimes we've got to let them go and go to the next phone booth. Sometimes there's more phone booths, we'll get to another phone booth. Sometimes we've got to do what we're doing and get that done before we go on to the next thing. You think a kid's going to listen, a 2.5-year-old's going to listen to that while he's screaming? And you try to comfort him and hold him and cuddle him. And he thinks he doesn't want to be contained, dude. So you just got to let him run it off or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe I've got the next fucking Matthew Shervington on my hands because this motherfucker runs it off, bro. Runs. When he's feeling those emotes, bro, he takes off. So shout out to Shervo and shout out to the Ball Brothers. But we've got, as always, man, we've got a movie review for you. So we're going to get straight into it here. Let's go.
Comedy, action, horror. Will this movie win an Oscar? Set design, directing, acting, lighting, or costumes. This segment is Clay's Reviews.
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, which is great. I love a series of movies, but I have just spoken to you about my patience. And this movie came out in 2023. Final Reckoning or whatever the next one's called doesn't come out until 2025, which is now, but and I only watched this a few weeks ago. So it would be, when I saw that it was 2023, I kind of thought that, oh shit, we're at the end of 2024, then I can probably just watch these back to back right now. And I couldn't. So my patience got tested yet again. But dude, it's Mission Impossible. You've seen them, maybe you haven't. And if you haven't, start at the first one, please. It's one of my favorite series. Some people like the Bourne, Identity, Supremacy, Colonoscopy, whatever it is. But I like Mission Impossible over them. I like Mission Impossible over 007. Sue me. Rach is huge on James Bond 007. Loves it. She loves it. But she don't really know it like I know it. I've seen them all. Down from who was ever the first one. Burt Reynolds or whatever. Robert Redford. Then you got Sean Connery, all that shit. I've seen all them Johns. Seen them all. And then I didn't really start loving them till you hit a Pierce Brosnan, GoldenEye. And then I don't think there was another one in between them. I think it went Pierce Brosnan to Daniel Craig. And Daniel Craig's done with it, I think. So now people, diversity and equity of inclusion or whatever the fuck it's called, DEI. Everyone wants a black James Bond. It's like, but let's just, it's just, James Bond is just this guy, okay? And they're like, no, it's just a code name. Like, once James Bond dies or retires, they just make another James Bond. Okay, let's just keep him white. He keeps going to parties filled with white people. You think this black James Bond's going to rock up wearing a fucking chinchilla jacket to the floor, wearing like a pink suit and shit? I'm just making him a pimp. But he's going to stick out like a sore thumb. Even if it's someone that can do the fitting in like Idris Elba. Idris Elba's still too much of a BMF dude. You've seen Luther. You've seen Hijack. He's not James Bond, bro. I don't think that, dude, I'd love to be James Bond. I'm a black man. But I don't think James Bond should be a black man. Put it that way. I think you got to go someone like Henry Cavill. Boom. Okay, I'm not even going to suggest another one because I've just hit the nail on the motherfucking head. Someone give me a casting position. No, I don't. I'm too busy. But I think someone like that. But anyway, I'm not even here to talk about James Bond. I'm talking about Mission Impossible. And yeah, my patience was tested. I love a part 1, but I'm looking for that part 2 or final part or whatever it is. My snack here. I did leave a note here for my snack. I had popcorn with spicy nacho seasoning. Obviously, I went to Sydney for the Fringe in 2024, and my friend Dan, shout out to Dan Sapokis, I used to play basketball with him in Albury, and he lives in Sydney now, and so we went out after one. He came to my show, and we went out, and we went to this cocktail bar and had these lit martinis. They were so good, and they did popcorn with this seasoning, bro. It was just so delicious. And so I didn't try to mimic it because I didn't even think that was possible. But I just did like a spicy nacho seasoning on this popcorn. And it was bold, dude, and intense. Just like Mission Impossible. So that's where I went with my snack for this one. And you guys are thinking like, whoa, usually you just buy like a candy. Yeah, we're getting into modifying snacks now here at the Welcome to the Poddy podcast. So that's where we're at, and that's where we're gonna be.
Easy money.
So I'll read you the thing real quick, the plot. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team, so IMF, Impossible Mission Force, must track down a dangerous weapon before it falls into the wrong hands. So, think of nukes. Or, this is often the case in a lot of these movies. Someone gets their hands on the coveted weapon, even Thanos in the Avengers, he gets all the gems or whatever, the Infinity Stones, and then he can, fuck up the universe or whatever. And that's what's basically happening, but in a more of a real life sense. This guy gets this weapon and it changes the game forever. But the weapon in this movie is some type of AI, which is timely. Okay, we're going to get into that a little bit more, but obviously Tom Cruise, Hayley Atwell, Ving Rhames, and Simon Pegg. Simon Pegg, famous for like Shaun of the Dead, I think. Is that Simon Pegg? Let's just have a quick look at Simon Pegg here. What's he known for? Shaun of the Dead, first one. The World's End, Hot Fuzz. He's good comedic relief. And he's like the tech whiz, I think, in this. But just thematically, the recipe basically for a Mission Impossible film will remain the same for everyone. It's the same as Star Wars. Star Wars is always going to be the same movie, just modified. That's what the Bournes, the Bonds, the Impossible missions, the Avengers. It's all the same. And to be frank, it all kind of stems from Homer's The Odyssey, which is getting made. The Odyssey is getting made and Christopher Nolan is directing it. I can't wait. The Odyssey is maybe the best thing I've ever read. Shout out to Chris Christo. Mr. Christo, my classical studies teacher in high school, put us on The Odyssey. It was required reading. And I've never loved a book more because basically every story of all time that's ever been written is based on the Odyssey. There's overcoming adversity, there's the deception of women, there's love, and it all just comes into one story. And the Odyssey's huge. It's an epic. But every movie kind of hits these points, give or take a few. And Christopher Nolan is going to direct that. I don't know when it comes out. Come on. We've got the old Google machine right here. Let's put it in the old search bar. The Odyssey 2026. 2026. And they've got who's attached to it. Zendaya. I don't know how to say it. Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, Matt Damon, Charlize Theron, Lupita Nyong'o. It wins, bro. Especially if that who does the music for all the Nolan films? Hans Zimmer, for Christ's sake, of course. Ludwig Göransson is amazing also. Top two. But Hans Zimmer, top one. Hans Zimmer's top two, and he's not two. When people say that and they think they're doing something. Anyway. Thematically, trust, betrayal. Like I said, it's the same sort of recipe for all of the Mission Impossible films. So you got trust and betrayal. Everyone's double crossing everyone, especially Ethan Hunt, who Tom Cruise is Ethan Hunt. Ethan Hunt and the Impossible Mission Force. They've got these masks, these realistic masks. So there's something going on with the evil guy. You think it's the evil guy, but then it's Ethan Hunt. He takes the mask off, reveals himself, takes the fuck off. The masks have been a big thing for the last 5 installments, maybe more. I think even from Mission Impossible 2, the masks started coming in, but now it's all masks. It's very mask heavy, but they broke the mask machine in this one because it was probably feedback they were getting like, oh God, it's all masks. So they broke the mask machine in this one and Ethan had to go in with his own face, but they had already made the mask for the, Hayley Atwell. They'd already made the mask for her. So it was still mask heavy. It's always mask heavy, and they'll have the machine fixed by part 2, I'm sure. Technology versus humanity, which has been done, dude, in the best case ever, ex machina or ex machina, if you don't know how to speak. Ex machina, go and see it, dude. It's on Netflix, I think, at the moment. And it is the best human versus technology movie ever made. Put that on my body, bro. And there's another one that's not too bad. Automata. So I'm just looking at my DVDs here. Automata is another one, which is the poor man's Ex Machina. You cannot get a better man versus technology film than Ex Machina. It's almost, I mean, I can't remember what score I gave it, but it's up there. It's probably in 9, it's in the 9 territory for Ex Machina. So go see that. But this movie is about man versus technology. So the weapon in question is AI. It's an AI-based evil. And you see an example of it in the opening scene of the damage it can do and how it can do it. And their biggest fear is the sentience of the thing, or that might not be the word, but you know how AI can kind of become not sentient, but it can just get to a point where it just improves itself. Well, it kind of is like that with ChatGPT. You train it to be what you want it to be, and this thing can like train itself. I think ChatGPT can, but their problem is that technological advancements can become unchecked and do the wrong thing. Which, like I said earlier, it's timely in that we've got... Think about this. Let me tell you something I know about artificial intelligence and the cloud. So there are warehouses, a lot of them are in like Saudi Arabia, and they're just getting built. Endless warehouses getting built where there are servers. It's just a warehouse filled with servers and cooling devices, where basically air conditioning. Let's just call it aircon. Let's just call it cooling. So they're just warehouses. They keep getting built and built and built because the cloud and, you know, ChatGPT and all these different AIs keep getting bigger and bigger. And they need more and more servers for space, for memory, and for, you know, power. To power the amount of searches happening, to power the amount of tasks that we're giving to the AI, to create pictures, to create movies, to answer questions. And we shouldn't be asking ChatGPT questions. We should just stick to Google for that. But in any case, these warehouses are just getting built. Endless warehouses getting installed with servers and cooling systems. One search on ChatGPT or one entry is essentially pouring a cup of water into the ground. Okay? So all of the amount of energy going into the cloud and AI is essentially enough. Imagine if all this water being used to cool these servers and storage facilities, imagine if all that water was in LA right now. It'd just be able to put out the fires. Obviously wind and all of that is a problem too, but This is just something that I know about AI and the cloud and all of that. Is it's not a cloud. It's not just going up into the air. There are physical servers holding this information. Like, yeah, I can't explain it any more clearly than that. It is a physical situation, and everything grows. Like rate that they're building them at, which is infinite, is not. There's no physical possible way that they can keep up with the growth of the internet and storage, especially, I mean, dude, they can't even keep up with Rachel, bro. The rate at which she takes photos, you look at her photos, and this is, I'm going to give a blanket statement right here. This is what women do. 1 million photos of the exact same thing. Check this out, by the way. Not only a mirror selfie, but every sunset that they've ever seen. And can we be honest, most sunsets are the exact same motherfucking thing? Like, if you see the best sunset you've ever seen, you've seen one just like it. You know? So don't take a sunset photo. Who gives a fuck? And that's why Instagram evolved, because it was all sunset photos and everyone was like, okay, that's enough. We've seen it now. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all. Or if you've seen one good one, you don't need to see the other ones. Okay, and you might be thinking that this is kind of basic thinking. Oh, Clay, if you see a picture, so what? You don't need to go to the Eiffel Tower because you saw it on Google. Well, kind of, but I have been to the Eiffel Tower, so suck on my dick. But look, I'm not saying I don't appreciate a sunset. I'm saying I don't need to take a photo of it every time. Because one, I'm not going to ever revisit that photo. Who gives a fuck? And two, like, we've seen it. What, are you going to post it? You're going to post a sunset every time you see a motherfucking sunset? What are you doing? Like, how basic are you, bro? You're like, Clay, what do you post? Sports. Well, maybe you got a point. But stop arguing with me. I can't even keep up with Rachel, let alone the growth of the internet, the growth of stories, the growth of AI. So like building these warehouses, there's no way to keep up. So resources are constantly being, dude, imagine how much water goes into concrete, let alone the cooling of these servers. It's just like, I think we've got about 20 years left on this motherfucker. I think we're going to see it. I think we are going to see the end of times. And whatever, man, it's cool with me. What are we doing anyway? What are we here for? And that's a larger question. Go see the Odyssey, man, 2026. And then sacrifice for the greater good. He's got a chance. Ethan Hunt has a chance at revenge in this movie. Should we do a quick little spoiler alert? He's got a chance at revenge. And if he takes it, it could fuck it up for everybody. He's put in that problem. That's a dilemma. Does he take it? Does he not? I don't know. Yeah, we did a good job of not spoiling it. But, sometimes your moral compass you have to check yourself. Selfishness, sometimes revenge is going to feel, I think I've talked about revenge. Revenge will feel good in the moment. Oh no, justice. It was justice. What is justice? I'm not going to get back into that, but I don't remember what episode that was, but that was, I don't know. I think I had a pretty good point. I am the Socrates of my generation. I think that's what they call me. The Socrates of podcasting, I think they call me. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about though, but action sequences, obviously, this is what Mission Impossible is based on. Everyone talks about Tom Cruise, how he does his own stunts, Everything's not everything, but they try to use as much practical effects as possible to keep you in it, to have you on the edge of your seat, to make it realistic. CGI, bro, you watch Iron Man flying around, that's not happening. You don't feel like you're in it. You watch Tom Cruise drive a motorbike off a cliff and then parachute onto the top of a train. That's lit, baby. That is so fire. And, shout out to Los Angeles, but you don't get that feeling from CGI. And that's one of the great things about Tom Cruise and about Mission Impossible and the franchise in general. The stunts are often over the top. You think about, someone like in the CIA, like a spy. I don't know who the best spy in the world is. And of course I don't. I'm not supposed to. And that's good on them. I'm glad I don't know. It means you're doing your job right. But they're not doing that. It's over the top. It's Hollywoodified. But that's the beauty of Tom Cruise as an action hero, as an action star. He brought cinema back from COVID. Top Gun Maverick, go see it in films. Go see it in cinemas, bro. It was beautiful. He brought us back to the theater, to the cinema. That's Tom Cruise. He's an action star, bro. I don't even want to see him in like Eyes Wide Shut anymore. Vanilla Sky. Fuck that. Let me get Minority Report. Let me get Mission Impossible. All right? Tom Cruise is the motherfucking man, bro. Cinematography's fire. Obviously, with some of these stunts, you got to get a wide shot because you can't miss it. You got one shot at a lot of these stunts. So you get it wide. They're going to different countries or different cities. You got to get a wide shot as you enter the city of the city. Wide shots are underutilized, I believe. I talk about them a lot. So you guys probably think like, oh, well, anyone can do a wide shot. No, they fucking can't. They're underutilized and underappreciated. A wide shot's important to introduce a scene many times, especially or a location, and to capture a stunt, a physical stunt, a practical stunt, just like we see in Mission Impossible. The wide shot is important, and they use them to death. but it's beautiful. You watch this movie, you're gonna even though a wide shot, you feel like you're so far away, it makes you feel like you're in it because it makes you feel like you're actually seeing it from the perspective of like a paraglider. Okay, you feel like you're there even though you're not on the ground, if that makes sense. The score it's just like there's heavy bass to it. There's a heavy bass. It's rhythmic, like a heartbeat. It's pulse pounding. It gives the not anxiety, but the tension. It elevates tension. I don't know who did it. Not Hans Zimmer, but the score works. Dude, I felt like I was there. I love this. I love this franchise, bro. I love it. I love Tom Cruise. People shit on Tom Cruise because he believes in, you know, what's his name? Ron L. Hubbard or whatever. L. Ron Hubbard. Well, dude, Scientology ain't that much more crazy than Christianity. A woman that didn't have sex has a baby that walks on water and rises from the dead. Like, come on. L. Ron Hubbard lands in a spaceship and gives everyone shoes or whatever. Like, yeah, that's about the same, maybe more believable. L. Ron Hubbard is maybe more believable, bro. It's just not as old. It's a newer one, so people don't believe it as much. Am I advocating for Scientology? Absolutely not. Yes, I think it's insane, but I still love Tom Cruise, bro. Still love him. Narrative style. It's, you know, there's twists and turns. It's multi-threaded. Okay, there's layers to it. It all kind of comes together at the end. That's why it's got to be hard to write that because of all the masks and shit. You don't know if you're looking at the real one or the fake one, although in this one they didn't change the eye color, which gave it away, but like that was intentional. But it's just sort of there's layers to it. And there has to be. For an espionage film, you can't know exactly, you as a viewer can't know exactly what's going on, or else like they have to give you hints because you want to be on the good guy's side. But if you know everything that's going to happen, what's the point? That's why I don't really like a movie where I know, like where they show the killer at the start and then you just watch the movie of the cop or the hero tracking them down. It's like, I kind of don't want to know who the killer is, bro. I want to know that at the end. I want a mystery to unfold. And that's what this is. It is a mystery, and it's espionage. It's spying, bro. It's outsmarting, outwitting, outthinking the opposition. Outmuscling on some occasions. But there are several cliffhangers left unresolved. And like I told you, I had to check my patience. I still have to check my patience. I can't wait for the next one. I can't wait for it. It's supposed to come out this year. I don't know when, but I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it, man. They left a lot unresolved here, which is important. Like, obviously at the end of a film, you can't do that. But when it's, you know, it's a series, there's several parts, maybe you can. I like it more in a TV show than a film. I think the amount that they left unresolved was, of course, there's a part 2, but for this much of a wait, I don't like it. Maybe it's a strategy. Maybe they boost their streams of part 1 before people go and see part 2. People go and revisit it, and they make extra money. The budget of this was, dude, you wait until you hear the budget of this shit. Crazy, bro. Mission Impossible. Wait till you hear this shit. I think it's like $500 million budget. Hold on. So $291 million budget for this movie. And it made $570 million gross worldwide. So what's that profit? Let's just take 300 off of that. So $270 million profit. It's not bad. $250 million this movie made. That's all right. And that's why you got to release in theaters. How do you make money streaming? You just sell your movie to a streamer? Is that what happens? Or Netflix just makes the movies. They don't buy them. They buy the rights to old movies. But they just make their own movies and hope that people stay subscribed so they keep getting money, and then they just raise prices every 2 months. That's how they make their money. Cool, good for those motherfuckers. And shout out to Netflix if you want to sponsor the show. But yeah, dude, That's a lot. A $250 million. That's why you got to. That's why you got to make blockbusters. That's why you got to put movies in theaters. Wide release. I know it costs money to do that, and you got to have a big studio. Tom Cruise has a lot of money. I think his production company produces the Mission Impossible movies at this point. So he does what he wants, man. Which I just love that about him. I love that about him. I love a motherfucker that does what he wants. Adam Sandler. I'm gonna make movies only with my friends. Nate Bargatze. I'm gonna produce everything that I produce is gonna be clean, and it's gonna be only with my clean friends. And that's, I like that. I like the friendship part of it. I just the cleanliness of comedy kind of makes me feel a bit like you think you're holier than thou or better than, or like, oh, why do you even have to talk about that? Why do you have to swear? It's like, you don't have to swear. I swear in my comedy. I'm not like just mother this and bitch and all that all the time, but like you wanna step on lines, bro. You don't always want to be talking about how you had a stupid argument with your wife because you had a misunderstanding or whatever. Like there's a lot to be discussed. And you're opening it up, making it accessible for full religious freaks that can't hear the word shit or whatever. You're opening it up, and comedy's spreading to more of an audience because of what you're doing, which I love. But it feels a bit holier than now. Would I love to be one of Nate Bargatze's fucking friends? Yes, I think I'm not discounting anything. What he's doing is incredible. He's one of my favorite comedians, and that's real. That's not pandering. His style is very similar to mine, except I'm just not as clean as him, or maybe as funny. I think I am. I think I'm maybe funnier than him. Put it like this. This is a fucking wild take. I think I might be funnier than him, but maybe I'm not as good as a writer as him yet. Whoa. Go ahead. But yeah, I love people that just get to do what they want, man. And maybe I'm trying to do that a bit too early with Cold-Blooded Comedy. I'm not famous. I don't have a huge name for myself, and I'm trying to do stuff with just my friends, but it's easy. It's easier. It's more fun. And if you're having fun while you're working this hard, what do they say? You don't work a day in your life or whatever. That's why I love this, man. I'm obsessed with comedy, bro. And I mean absolutely no disrespect to Nate either in anything I just said, because when I look at comics who not that I've like tried to model myself after, who I've tried to model myself after, I would say like Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, Carl Barron, and let's go one more, Louis C.K. But the comics that I've probably ended up most like are Nate Bargatze, Chad Daniels, Tom Segura, Joe List, and have we got one more that I can think of? Maybe like Ali Sadiq. He's very unique in that he'll do a whole special, which is one story, which is like elite storytelling and elite joke writing. But I like a long story. I like to tell a big story. So maybe I've ended up like him. Like those 5 people I just named are not people that I have modeled myself after, but they're probably who I most am like as a comedian. And Nate's one of them. And I love that. I'd love to be just like him. Not just like him. I don't particularly want to be a clean comic. I want to have some clean material so I can do cruises and I can do, TV and I don't know, fucking old folks' homes. All right. So, and that's a joke. I don't want to do old folks' homes. I just wanted to say the F word while I was saying I want to clean material. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. So, like I said, practical effects, reliance on real stunts over CGI, gives authenticity, makes you a part of the action. They've got rapid cuts during like, practical fight scenes and stuff like that. The stunts aren't as crazy, obviously, in a fight scene, but driving, there's pretty cool driving scene where they're Tom Cruise and the girl are handcuffed together and driving, and that's a lot of rapid cuts. It just keeps the pace going, maintains tension, and there's some character driven moments, but at the end of the day, if you've watched it from the beginning, Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg. The character driven moments relate more to Hayley Atwell. I don't think she was in the last one. No, she was new. So there's a little bit of character development for her, but like it's full on action, because the assumption is that the main characters already, which is awesome, absolutely awesome. It's all the whole thing's about the masks and about running. Tom Cruise loves running, bro, and I think everyone knows that. But he runs so much. The whole thing's about running and masks. It's basically it's like marathons during COVID, bro. Just masks and running, dude. That's what this movie is. They talk about Tom Cruise performing his own stunts, how it impacts the authenticity of action films, because you don't need to cover faces, you don't need to CGI faces and all of that. He, in the last one, the one before this, I think it was Ghost Protocol or something, he did this jump from building to building and he broke his ankle. And he committed to the bit. And he gets up, he climbs up to the edge of the building and he keeps running even though he broke his ankle, which is legendary shit, Something maybe I would do if I was still playing basketball, turn an ankle, just get strapped up and get back out there, get an x-ray after, like, yeah, you snapped it in 3 places, brother. And it's like, well, strictly buckets, I'm out here to get buckets, baby. So, I mean, risky leaps. Obviously, the one I talk about frequently is the dive into comedy and podcasting without a backup job. That's a risk. It was a risk I didn't really have to take because I got made redundant from my day job, but it's a risk not just getting another job straight away. And then, I took a real leap once, a true leap. I went to this place. It was when I was living in Townsville, and we went to this place called Crystal Creek. It's a watering hole, or just a water hole. It's beautiful. It's these big rocks, and we jumped in from a high rock, and we started low because we were all a bit scared. Me and TJ were anyway. Ben's a white boy, so he's like, do we have access to a helicopter? Can we jump from 400 feet in the air or whatever? That's how they roll. But me and TJ were doing little jumps first, and we're feeling like, yeah, this is pretty deep. Let's go higher. We get up top. I think Ben and TJ went first. I went last. I was the most scared. Dude, I jumped from, I don't know, maybe 10 meters high. And I hit a rock in the water. I hit water first and then went down, hit rock, and I hurt my knee. I didn't injure myself, but it hurt. I felt it. And it's like, that's impact, bro. That's just adding to my arthritis. That's an event that added to my arthritis. Okay? And that was a risk that I took to jump into a watering hole, to do white boy activities. That's what happens when you're the only black kid. You just seemingly are the only black kid in Adelaide or in Glenelg. In the area I grew up in, I was the only black kid. I didn't know. The blackest kid at my school was Chilean. He was a Spanish kid. His name was Mario, and then it was me. We didn't even have any Aboriginals at my school, bro, unless there was light-skinned ones. We didn't have any. I was the only black kid, apart from Mario, who was Latino or Latinx. Focusing on the wrong shit. So, this is Mario. He didn't even talk like that, but it's him, and then there's me. So you grow up with all white people, and then, you're 20. What would I have been then? 25, 26? No. Yeah, 24 probably. I was probably 24. 24 years old doing white boy shit. Hurt my knee even more. Took the risk, bro. Took the risk. Call me Tom Cruise of Crystal Creek. The foreshadowing of the AI apocalypse, obviously, like AI as the main villain. Well, the main villain is the guy trying to get his hands on the AI, but the AI is the danger. It's the most dangerous thing here, where no matter who's got it. Okay, so AI is the main villain. And that mirrors the real world fears about artificial intelligence. And there's risks to AI. I remember the first media release I ever wrote, it was for Fringe World Perth. And I didn't write it. I chucked it into ChatGPT. And this was when ChatGPT wasn't quite as good. And I put some information in ChatGPT and made it fire out my media release. And I sent that to all the publications that I could find in Perth. And no, it didn't get picked up because it was a shitty generic media release. And I just had a meeting 2 weeks ago with somebody that truly taught me how to work. And because I was basing all my media releases from then were based off that first one, which I wrote myself, but based them off that first one. I've got the first one saved on my computer. So I wrote this shitty media release and this dude's just like, no, dude. He's like, I know you've sent this out to X amount of publications. Write it again, send it again. No one's going to pick this up. It's basically just an ad for your show. You need a story about yourself. He's like, dude, I don't know you, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at all these things about you that you could make the story about. Do that. I'm like, fuck, I am an idiot. And that's a risk of AI that I've experienced is I let AI create this thing for me. That product sucked, so it didn't get picked up. And then I've based every product since off of that, which is stupid, bro. So I speak to someone who knows what they're talking about. I actually learn what I'm doing. Now I've got this dope media release that I've actually got to resend out today. Well, I hope it's dope, but it's better than it was. And that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Just the whole sequence of events is embarrassing. And the fact that I'm going to be doubling up to all these media outlets is embarrassing. But whatever, man. That's the risk. That's the risk you run with AI. Or maybe it ends the world. The cliffhangers, are they a blessing or a curse? Obviously, it's a smart way to build anticipation and potentially get people to re-watch the first movie before the next one comes out. Where have I been left hanging in real life? Dude, 2 job opportunities. I'll tell you the short one first. Since just going independent, full-time into comedy and podcasting, I have applied for some more jobs to supplement my income, okay? One of which was a courier job. I get a phone call and the dude's like, yeah, we're desperate. We need guys like you, please. And I'm like, yeah, man, when can I start? He's like, can you start Monday? I'm like, yep, let's do it. And never heard back, bro. Just never heard back from the motherfucker. Just never heard back. Just never heard back, bro. I just never heard back. That's getting left hanging. I've never been left hanging on a date. I went on a date though once with this crazy bitch. I'm not going to get into her story, but Jesus H Christ, she's a nut job. But I go to this dessert spot with her. This is before I didn't know she was out of her. Well, actually I did, because she used to always do this, bro. I used to talk to her, or anyone used to talk to her, and she'd, like from a horror movie, she'd just sort of like, that's how she would listen to you. And my friend Shardiz, he was like, dude, that bitch is out of her fucking mind, bro. You seen how she does this shit? I'm like, yeah, bro, what's up with that? But she's hot, so let's try here. So I go on a date with her to this fucking dessert spot. We're sitting there, we're having a dessert, and I see this guy, and it looks like he's been stood up, and he's hot, like literally a table full of 10s, 3 girls. They're sitting there, they're looking at him, and they go over and they're like, we're so sorry, we just want to know if you've been stood up. And he's like, yeah, I have. And they're like, that's okay, you can go on a date with us. We'll be your date. And yeah, it was probably just some friendly shit, and he probably didn't end up having a foursome with 3 of the hottest girls I've literally seen in real life. But that's so lit, bro. Shout out to those chicks, okay? Because hot girls can be really mean, and they like just made this guy's night. And also, fuck the bitch that didn't show up. And yeah, I've never been stood up like that before, and I've never stood anyone up like that before. But some heroes don't wear capes. Shout out to 310s. Okay, yeah, we're gonna objectively rate these ladies, but it's a compliment. Shout out to them, just like swooping in and saving this dude's night. That's legendary shit, man. I witnessed that while I was on a date with the craziest bitch I've ever met, bro. I've ever fucking met. Clay, did you end up hitting? Was it worth it? They say crazy bitches are the best in bed. Wasn't even that good, bro. Wasn't even that good. And, you know, that's a gross conversation, what we're having right now. Let's move on. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, left hanging. I've got more for you. I got more examples. The other job that I got left hanging for was a professional basketball job. This was the reason I ended up going to Townsville. And we've talked about this on the show before, but I'll tell it again for the new listeners. I'll try and rush through it. First off, I got an agent while I was still in college. Season was over. I get an agent. He tries to stitch me up, so I fired him early. He basically tried to get a free holiday out of me, so I fired him before I even met him face to face. I get this other agent. Shout out to Steve, and he starts with the phone calls and stuff. He's got footage of me, and he gets me a workout for the 36ers. Adelaide 36ers, my hometown team. I'm like, this is awesome. I work out with this other guy who was trying out as well. And we played one-on-one. We did shooting comp. I cooked this motherfucker for the whole time. The head coach was there, takes a phone call during the workout, leaves the workout, takes a phone call. I believe the phone call was from Ben Simmons or Dante Exum. I think it was Ben Simmons. It could have been Dante. I don't know. But he takes a phone call and leaves because he's a fucking, star fucker. Put it that way. Anyway, I cook this motherfucker at this workout, and I'm like, I'm feeling myself, bro. Okay? I'm feeling myself. I call my agent after this workout. I'm just like, dude, like, I just bodied this shit. Like, we got this. And he's like, that's awesome. Let's set up a meeting. We set up another meeting. My dad comes along to this one. We hang out with the head coach and the assistant coach. And they're just like, yeah, look, I know you're not getting many looks because of your college stats, your court time, and you're saying it was a, coaching issue and blah, 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 blah. I want to give you a chance. I would have liked it. And he said something like, I would have liked to see a little bit more consistency out of you at the workout. And I'm just being agreeable at this point because, I don't want to look uncoachable. I'm just like, yeah, sure, man. Like, too bad you walked out of the fucking workout and didn't even see it. I cooked at this workout, by the way. Okay, like, I'm telling you, like, I couldn't miss. I'm fucking working this kid out, bro. Like, I looked unguardable compared to this dude. He couldn't guard my drive. He couldn't guard my jump shot. He couldn't guard me in the post. He was a 7-footer, by the way. So, yeah, of course he can't guard me on the perimeter, but he couldn't guard me in the post, dude. My footwork was fucking immaculate. Okay? This dude, the coach, says he would have liked to see some more consistency out of me at the workout. I was just thinking I would like to see you at the workout. Okay? Anyway, he's like, but I want to give you a try. We're going to get the contracts drawn up and, we'll catch up on this date. You come in, sign it, and we'll get moving. It gets to that date. I jump in my car to drive down to the facility to sign my contract. I get a phone call from the head coach. He's like, hey, Clay, are you on your way here? I'm like, yeah, man. I'm gonna be a bit early. Like, I'm not. If you're not early, you're late. And he's like, yeah. Maybe you should stick to footy. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. Maybe you should just stick to footy. We're gonna go with someone else. Not only the day that I'm signing the contract, while I'm driving there. So I've hated him ever since. I've hated the 36ers ever since, even though he's not with the organization anymore. I can't bring myself to go to a game. I'm embarrassed about it. Like, I wanted to be the hometown kid. You know, I was so excited for that. It like, obviously my dream growing up was to play for the NBA. You know, I wanted to play in the NBA. That wasn't going to happen. Or maybe it was if I got a proper opportunity in the NBL, but whatever. I grew up going to 36ers games, and I'm thinking, this is it, bro. We're going to do it. I'm going to sign with my hometown team. I'm going to still have my friends, my family around me. This is fucking dope. And this motherfucker took it away from me on my drive to the thing. I call my agent. My agent makes some phone calls. You know, my dad's friends with Al Green, you know, Hall of Famer. Al's friends with Sean Dennis. They used to play together in Newcastle or something. And Sean's the coach of Townsville. And Sean's like, yeah, I'll take him. I'll take him up here. So I went up to Townsville. And that was the beginning of the end of my NBL career. And that's how you get left hanging, truly, bro. That broke my fucking heart, man. But SD up there believed in me. I don't think they had the budget up there, you know, to really give me a chance. But then I went and played Siebel for Ice, Coach Ice, and he believed in me. And it had been the first time in, I don't know, you're looking at probably 10 years that I had a coach that actually truly believed in me. Probably 2007, my last nationals. I don't even remember where that was. My last nationals. I don't remember where that was. Maybe Albury. That might have been my last nationals. Was Albury. And then I ended up playing in Albury, which is, you know, I don't know, poetic justice or divine intervention or some shit like that. But since then, I hadn't really had a coach who believed in me. I don't think my AAS coach believed in me. My college coach absolutely didn't. The assistant did. The one that recruited me did. But yeah, just no belief in me there. Then SD, I think he believed in me. Oh, and Rags, when I played for Sturt, that was after though. That was after all of the fucking bullshit. But Ice just let me fucking be me. Let me play like me. And that was fun, man. And I cooked. I cooked up there too. Anyway, been left. I haven't been like stood up. But I had a girlfriend who we were getting like, she was just starting to get serious. It was starting to get serious. I think we'd been together maybe like, I don't even know, 6 months or something. I said I love you. I think she said that shit back and she got scared. And she broke up with me. Just on a dime. She's flipped on me. Like, she was sweet and then it wasn't. And it hurt, bro. Broke my heart. You know, I always get my heart broken. I'm always falling for him. But then a few months later, she's like, can I come over? I want to talk to you. I heard you seeing somebody else. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, look, I don't know how serious things are with you and this girl, but it hasn't been that long, can't be that serious. And, you know, I see the error in my ways or whatever, and I want to be with you. I still love you. I still love you. But you've shown me that you can flick a switch, turn shit off whenever you feel like it, and you've done it. You did it to me, and I don't know when you're going to do it again, and I can't risk it. Can't risk it, bro. And some people would call that cowardice, but I would call that a calculated decision. Now, did that work out well for me? Like, short term, not really. I ended up with the new girl for like a year and walked in on her fucking somebody else. But so like, it's like, then immediately you look back and be like, maybe, you know, maybe me and this other one should have just given it another try. But long term, look what happens. I end up with Rachel. I got a beautiful son. We got a beautiful house. Got no money. It's good. You know, no money, hoe problems. But I also got no hoe problems. You know? I got me a hoe. She is my hoe for show. But yeah, bro, that's what happens. Sometimes you got to make a decision like that. And there's someone in my life right now who I need to talk to. I don't want to put his energy out. I don't want to put his information out there, but his wife is sort of doing that shit to him right now. And they've got a child. And apparently it's happened before. And I'm like, okay, you just going to keep allowing this behavior, or is it time to just call it? Do you call it? Or do you stay with her and live your life just waiting for the next time that she does this? Waiting for the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time. That doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound fun when you're waiting for the tragedy to happen or just like another episode to happen. Fuck that, man. That is being left hanging. You can never be secure in your relationship. So you just hang in there waiting for disaster to strike. Don't like that, bro. The high stakes of teamwork, bro. You know, obviously in the Impossible Mission Force, you have to, it's a high stakes outcome. So the collaboration has to be seamless, flawless. Have I experienced that? Of course. High level sport. For me, it's basketball. It's a team game. You have to all be on the same page. You have to all know the plays. You have to all know the scouting report. And if one of you doesn't have it together, then it kind of fucks it for everyone. That's when the coach has to sit you down. But maybe you're the star player. Maybe you're getting paid the most, so the coach won't sit you down. And then that's when you start losing games. It's high stakes, collaboration, college projects, group projects, bro. We had to create a business plan. Check this out, dude. I went to Bryant University in Rhode Island. Our business plan was for a business called Road Runners, RHODE. And it was essentially Uber Eats. And this is before Uber Eats. This is before Uber, I think. Road Runners, bro. Can you believe that shit? We came up with the exact business plan. The exact business plan, bro. We came up with. Not the exact business plan, because I don't think it was contractors. I think we had employees who were going to do the pickups and deliveries. But it was Uber Eats, bro. And that's high stakes. You got to rely on, I think it was a 5-person group. You got to rely on this group to all pull their weight to come through with the group project. And of course we got an A in it because it's Uber Eats, bro. It was a genius business plan. We fucking hit it out of the park. I can believe that it ended up happening, but we could have got some capital for that, and like we could have been Uber Eats, bro. Think about that. We could have been DoorDash. Anyway, that's high stakes because the motherfucker could just do. There's always someone in a group that codes, and we had a dude. His name was Stefan or some shit, and he was definitely Italian, and he had the bluest, greenest eyes, bro. He wasn't even a sexy dude, but you didn't even see the rest of him because his eyes were so beautiful. They were like fucking sapphire emeralds, bro. I know I'm saying two different things, but it was like those two things mixed together, bro. He had the most beautiful eyes and he didn't do shit. Got himself a fucking A. And that's why there's always what do they call it? Weakest link. They say you're only as strong as your weakest link, but if we were only as strong as our weakest link, we would have failed because that motherfucker did fuck all, bro. Shout out to Stefan, man. You got beautiful eyes, brother. And then, dude, travel envy. Some of the set locations were so beautiful, man. Trying to remember where they were. I think Italy. I think they were in the Venice, channels and all that. And I've been to Italy. Is my favorite place in the world so far. So far, dude. I spent a lot of time in small towns, which was beautiful. So much culture. Like obviously in Rome and Florence and all of that, you witness the big cathedrals and the Colosseum and there is culture about it, but these are tourist destinations. So they are it's not as authentic as like some of the small towns I stayed in outside of those cities was just beautiful. And Venice was the one place I didn't go. I went to Como, but yeah, no Venice. But where would I like to go? If I could go anywhere in the world that I haven't been, I think like maybe Croatia would be sick. I'd love to go to Africa. I'd love to find out about my heritage. I don't really want to do like 23andMe or Ancestry.com because I don't really want them selling my like DNA and data and all that shit. That's like I do have a bit of I don't even think it's conspiracy. I think it's like confirmed at this point. They'll just sell that data. So you're paying them, dude, you're paying them to take your DNA and then they get money by selling it. What the fuck is that? No, I'm not into that. Sorry, it's going to be hard for me to find out about my heritage, but I'd love to find out exactly where in Africa my family's from, and then I would like to visit that country. I'd also like to, like, you know, see a safari and all that shit. But that, I mean, like I said before, growing up with white people, you want to do white people shit and die in white people ways. But overall, this movie's a 7.5 out of 10, dude. Fucking hugely watchable, hugely rewatchable, fun, action-packed. You know what it is, man. Welcome to the Poddy on everything. Like, share, rate, review, subscribe, comment. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the Welcome to the Poddy podcast. I love you guys. Don't forget to love yourselves. And as always, bung, bung.